Index law number 5.
Now law 5 states that if I've got a times b in brackets to the power of m, well that's going to be equal to a to the power of m, b to the power of m when I expand it. Now what does this mean? Well, it means essentially if I've got 2k in brackets squared, well that's going to be 2 squared, which is equal to 4, multiplied by k squared, which is k squared. Now if you want to know how this works, well what happens is if I've got 3k in brackets cubed, what I need to do is I need to multiply 3k by 3k by 3k, don't I? Because if it's cubed, it means I've got 1, 2, 3 lots of 3k. Now what does that mean? Well, I've got little times in between here, the 3's and the k's. So that means I get 3 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 3 cubed, and k times k times k, which is equal to k cubed, or essentially this is equal to 3 times 3 cubed is 27k cubed. So what I want you to do now is press pause and attempt the following questions, that is in brackets 4a cubed b to the power of 5 all to the power of 2, and 2x to the power of 4 y to the power of 7 all in brackets to the power of 3, and 3 times m to the power of 7 n to the power of 8 in brackets all to the power of 4. Remember when you're done to press play so you can check your answers out against mine. Alright, so welcome back. Now if you can see here I've got in brackets 4a cubed b to the power of 5 all squared. So what I need to do is I need to put the 2 out to the 4, so it's 4 squared, the 2 to the 3, so it's 3 times 2, and the 2 to the 5, so it's 5 times 2. So I get 4 squared, a to the power of 3 times 2, b to the power of 5 times 2. So that gets me 4 squared is 16, a to the power of 6, b to the power of 10. Now in part B I've got 2x to the power of 4, y to the power of 7, all cubed, so I go the 3 goes to the 2, the 3 goes to the x to the power of 4, and the 3 goes to the y to the power of 7. So 2 cubed, x to the power of 4 times 3, and y to the power of 7 times 3. This gets me 2 cubed is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, so x to the power of 12, and 7 times 3 is 21, so y to the power of 21. Now for this one, as you can see here, the 4 only goes to what's inside the brackets, not to the 3, so the 4 goes to the m to the power of 7 and n to the power of 8. So that gets me 3 times m to the power of 7 times 4, and n to the power of 8 times 4. Now 7 times 4 is 28, and 8 times 4 is 32, so that gets me 3 times m to the 28, n to the power of 32. And when I get rid of the times, I get 3m to the power of 28, n to the power of 32.
And the last one for today, index law number 6. Word.
Now the last index law that we're going to look at today states that if you've got in brackets a over b to the power of m, well that there is equal to a to the power of m over b to the power of m. So essentially what does this mean? Well, it means if I've got, for example, m over x to the power of 2, well that therefore is going to be equal to m squared over x squared. Now let's try and make some sense of this. So for example, if I've got 2 over 3 and I cube it, well that's going to be equal to 2 over 3 times 2 over 3 times 2 over 3, isn't it? Because I'm cubing it, so it's the same thing multiplied by itself 3 times. And what's that going to be equal to? Well, it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 cubed, over 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 cubed. Or in other words, 8 over 27. 8 over 27. So therefore what I want you to do now is press pause and attempt the following questions, that is in brackets x over 4 to the power of 3, for b in brackets m squared over b squared all to the power of 4, and for c in brackets 3ax over 2 to the power of m all in brackets to the power of 3. Remember when you're done to press play and check your answers out against mine. Alright, so welcome back. Now as you can see here I've got my x over 4 in brackets cubed, so therefore what I need to do is put the cube to the x and the cube to the 4. So that gets me x cubed over 4 cubed. And I can actually even simplify that to get you x cubed over 64, because 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now for this one here I've got m squared to the power of 4 and b squared to the power of 4, because the 4 goes here and the 4 goes here. So that's going to be m to the power of 2 times 4, because the 2 times 4 here, and b to the power of 7 times 4, because the 7 and the 4 multiply as well. So 2 times 4 is 8, and 7 times 4 is 28, so that gets me m to the power of 8, b to the power of 28. And this one's a little bit harder once again. So the 3 goes to the 3 goes to the ax, and the 3 goes to the 2, and the m. So the 3 is affecting 4 of the different things here. Now, so you get 3 cubed and a to the power of x cubed is equal to a to the power of x times 3, because you get 3 times x, and then the 2 cubed, and then m to the power of 3 down the bottom here. So really the hardest part to simplify here is the x times 3. So it gets you 3 cubed is 27, a to the power of x times 3 is 3x, 2 cubed is 8, and m cubed, well, that's m cubed. So that gets us 27a to the power of 3x over 8m cubed.
Alright guys, so I guess it's come to that time of the lesson now where we need to check out just a couple of quick little worked examples. So let's have a look at those.
Alright, so now what we're doing is we're putting all of the 6 index laws that we've just learnt all together in the one question, or in the couple of questions that you can see here. So what we're going to do is attempt both of these questions. Now the very first question says in brackets 4x cubed p squared all to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 x times y in brackets squared multiplied by t to the power of 0. Alright, so let's go through and simplify that first of all. So this is going to equal, if I expand these brackets first of all, so it's going to be, the 2 is going to go to this one, and to this one. So I get 4 squared, x 3 times 2 is 6, p to the power of 2 times 2 is 4, multiplied by 3, the 2 is going to go to here, and the 2 is going to go to here, so it's x squared, y squared, t to the power of 0. Remember, t to the power of 0 is equal to 1, so we just write times 1. Now what I need to do is I've got to just go through and simplify this. So 4 squared is equal to 16, x to the power of 6, p to the power of 4, multiplied by 3, x squared, y squared. Now it's just basically using rule 1, where I go through and collect the like terms by multiplying. So 16 times 3, well, that's going to be 48. X to the power of 6 multiplied by x squared, well, that's going to be x 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. And p to the power of 4 multiplied by y squared. Okay, so there's nothing else in terms of base terms that are the same, so you're just going to write p to the power of 4 y squared like so. Now the next question, what I want you to do is press pause and attempt it. Remember, when you're done, to press play and check your answers out against mine. Alright, so welcome back. Now if we have a look at this, we've got 10x to the power of 4t squared multiplied by 3t bracket squared times x to the power of 3, all divided by 15x to the power of 4 t to the power of 4. So the very first thing I need to do is go through and expand the brackets. So in order to do that, I'm just going to multiply the 2 over here, or put the 3 to the power of 2 and t to the power of 2, as you can see. So that's what I've done here, 3 to the power of 2 and t to the power of 2. And I've left pretty much everything else as is. Now if I go through and simplify that a little bit more, 3 squared is equal to 9, leaving me with 10x to the power of 4 t squared multiplied by 9 t squared x to the power of 3 all over 15x to the power of 4 t to the power of 4. Now the next step to do is to use index rule 1 and multiply these two. So to do that, I'm going to do the 10 times the 9, because the 9 and the 10 are here. So you get 10 times 9 is 90, x to the power of 4, and another base for the x is x to the power of 3, so 4 plus 3 is 7, so you get x to the power of 7, and t squared multiplied by t squared is t to the power of 4, all over 15x to the power of 4 t to the power of 4. Now what I need to do is basically look for the things with the same base and also simplify the numbers. So if I have a look at 90 and 15, what I can do is do 90 divided by 15 is equal to 6. Now the same basis, I've got my x and my x, so I've got x to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 4, well that's going to be x to the power of 3, because 7 minus 4 is 3. And of course t to the power of 4 divided by t to the power of 4, well that's just going to be 1, because 4 minus 4 is 0, and that's just going to give us 1 here. So that leaves us with 6 times x to the power of 3, or 6x to the power of 3.
Alright guys, so I guess as you can see, we've looked at how to work with the index laws numbers 1 to 6 during this lesson. Now if we have a think for a second, what are we going to come across next lesson? That's right, of course, it's going to be index laws numbers 7 and 8 from the Big 8. Alright, so guys, of course, make sure you stay tuned for that lesson, and like always, make sure you say hi to your maths teacher for me. Morsey out.